Today we're going to sit down with Greg Medford of Medford Knife Tool and ask him a couple questions about the company.
We generally, when we're surface grinding blades for final thickness, I've gone through different eras, okay, of different levels of good guys on the grinder. We currently plus or minus 0.3 of 1 thou on surface grind final thickness. So to quantify that, average human hair is somewhere between 2 3/4 and 3.5 thou in diameter, 10 times smaller than the diameter of human hair. So pretty tiny. 20 times thinner than a sheet of paper. Like kind of crazy amount. And then to give somebody an idea what that takes. Let's say, for instance, you were going to have a typical knife blade sent to a grind house and ground to a thickness. It would cost you somewhere, if you did a lot of them, $6 a piece. If you did one of them, it might be $12 a piece. If you want to go plus or minus, let's say 3 thousandths of an inch. So 10 or 12 times greater than what we do, right? So then you go down to, if you're going to go to plus or minus 1 thou, that price might go, instead of $6 for some bulk, it might be more like, I'm going to say $10 for bulk to go plus or minus 1 thou. If you say go plus or minus a half, it goes to $16 or $20, depending on what city and where you're at. Give you an idea of just magnitude of effort and cost to go from chasing a couple thou to a couple tenths. It's an exponential amount of money. And some guys will say, well, we could do 1/3 of them like that. Or they'll say, well, I'll get half of them within the spec. So that's on blade thickness, okay? You start talking diameter on pins and parts and holes, it's 2/10 on just about everything. Now, if you're just talking about assembly through holes, those are all going to be plus or minus 1 thou. Depths on holes are going to be plus or minus 1 thou. Slab handle thickness on titanium handle pieces, plus or minus 1 thou. So there is nowhere where there is any great tolerance. Everything is really, 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 really tight. And someone say, well, why wouldn't you make, if a screw is 1/16 in diameter, why would you want the through hole to be 1/18 in diameter? For less play, less wiggle, less variance. You're tightening everything down. When I order a screw, and you saw me do this earlier, you saw me look up the spec on the screw, and I look to see what the plus minus is, because they'll tell you a shaft variance, OD major thread variance, okay? It's 1/16 plus or minus 3. That means the biggest it'll be is 1/19. Let's go 2 thou over that, because we can chase 2 thou pretty well. That's 121. I want the whole 121 plus or minus 1. And it's go to that biggest tolerance, so that we never have a no fit, and we never have a sloppy fit. We really want it to hold a vacuum almost. So if you put a solid pin into our pivot hole and you have your thumb across the top, it'll hold in there by vacuum. And you lift your thumb, it'll drop out. I mean, that's kind of perfect sizing, and that's kind of where we think we single shot diamond hone those, and we get them within 1/10 or parts of a tenth. So really consistent. And then after that, it's really like Swiss parts, which are, they kind of play around in the millions for Swiss part consistency. We start chasing Swiss part consistency with our work, which means there's a lot of super mics out on the floor, not just micrometers, but super micrometers that go out to millions. And, we're chasing that a lot. The more we chase that in the main process, there's a concept called stack tolerances. So you're off a little bit here, and you're off a little bit there, and you're off a little bit there. None of it seems like much, but when it all comes together on a fat day, it's all wrong. If it comes together on a skinny day, it's all loose. If you get a little skinny, a little fat, it all kind of works out. We chase with super mics, everything's going on out there, and with plus pins and minus pins and plus minus and minus pins and dead nuts pins and precision ground and plus or minus 1/1,000,000th pins that are hardened and then coated. We have them slightly ground under, so when they're coated, they're plus or minus 1/1,000,000th. And we use those, and as the color wears off, we know we're breaking through a millionth, and it's time to swap out pins. So it might be a little maddening, but it's kind of crazy. I tell machinists this: you make parts for the space shuttle, or for SpaceX, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Come down and see it," and they go, "God damn, I had no idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's crazy making." It's easy to make one good knife. Make 1,000. That's